Okay, well, hi everybody. Thanks for coming. My name is Elizabeth Jost. I'm the Associate Director of Admissions at the Grad College at UNLV. So I'm doing this joint session with Dr. Lisa Davis here on the call. And we're going to talk to you about the MBA program, mostly at UNLV. I'm going to start us off by talking about, why you should come to UNLV, why UNLV is a great place to study. And Lisa is going to talk about why you should do your MBA here. So I got a little bit of a presentation for you, and then we're going to go ahead and switch presentations, and Dr. Davis is going to show you her MBA presentation. So first off, why should you even go to grad school? Why should you even think about going to grad school? And there's a lot of personal and professional benefits of getting your graduate degree beyond your undergrad. So first of all, you have increased employment opportunities and a lower overall employment rate with a graduate degree. Only 13.1% of the population holds a graduate or professional degree. So it helps you stand out from the crowd. You can also pursue your passions. You can make an impact. New knowledge changes the world. And when you're going to graduate school, you're really focusing on an area that you're interested in, more so than your bachelor's degree, which gives you a broader breadth of knowledge. You also learn a lot of transferable skills, right? You're not going to just get new knowledge. You're going to learn how to research. You're going to learn discipline. Grad school requires a little bit of extra work and a little bit of extra discipline there. You're going to learn leadership skills, communication skills, perseverance, all things that can help you professionally and personally as you move through your lives and careers. And it helps you take control of your future. A graduate degree makes you more marketable and sought after by employers. So also, grad school helps you have greater earning potential. The difference in career earnings between a high school diploma and a bachelor's degree is approximately $670,000. The difference in career earnings between a bachelor's degree and a graduate degree is approximately $620,000. So it just puts you in a higher earning bracket. So you can see those median annual earnings of bachelor's, master's, professional students, and doctoral students here on the right. And we get those statistics from the the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. So that's a little bit about why you should go to grad school, but why should you go to grad school at UNLV? So we have a lot of things going for us here in Nevada and here at UNLV specifically. We have a prestigious R1 ranking, which that means is we're considered a high-ranking research institution by the Carnegie Classification of Institutions of Higher Education. We are one of only 131 such universities in the country who has that designation. We have a lot of choices too. We have over 175 graduate degree and certificate programs, including more than 40 doctoral and professional programs. So, we're here to talk about MBA, of course, but if you decide that's not right for you, we probably have something that you're interested in and that you're going to be passionate about and that you can use to succeed and further your careers and your personal goals. We're among the most diverse universities in the country, according to U.S. News and World Reports. We're currently in the top 5. So you're going to have colleagues and, student colleagues who look like you, who have, similar experiences than you, and then different experiences than you. And that's going to just inform your education. We have a really awesome support system for grad students at UNLV. We have the Professional Development Academy, which I'll go into in a little bit more detail in a future slide, but we have free certificate programs in leadership and mentorship and teaching that you can stack on to your degree. We have career support. We have dozens of professional development workshops and trainings that you can participate in. So you're not only going to earn a graduate degree, we're going to set you up for success once you get that degree and you're hitting the workforce or you're trying to accomplish something else. We also have what's called a community engagement classification. So That's also from the Carnegie Foundation for Advancement of Teaching, and only 119 universities in the country have that designation. So you're also going to, learn from nationally and internationally recognized faculty in highly ranked programs. Dr. Davis can talk to you about the MBA's ranking program specifically, but UNLV as a whole does have that R1 ranking. You're going to be able to partner and intern with local employers. We have all these great local partnerships as being one of the only graduate programs in Las Vegas. You're going to work and study in cutting edge labs, research centers, and libraries. I know things are a little different right now with COVID, but we've made a lot of innovations for virtual things, and we do have a lot of our labs and research facilities still open. We have a lot of flexibility as far as online classes, evening classes, fully online programs. So if you have barriers because you work or you have kids or you need to do your classes at a certain time, there's a lot of opportunity for asynchronous learning at UNLV. So we can usually find something for you that's going to meet your needs. You can gain hands-on experience through graduate assistantships by working as a graduate student and getting tuition assistance, and you can develop relationships with faculty and classmates. We also have a graduate professional and student association. So their role is that it's made up of students. It's your own student government that's perfectly tailored to graduate students. So undergrads have their own student government, but grad students do too. So we serve all currently enrolled grad students at UNLV. And you're in it automatically just by being a grad student, and you can elect your representatives from the student body, and their job is to promote the interests of grad students at UNLV. They seek funding for travel and conferences and other professional development opportunities. They support you, they provide an environment that's conducive to student scholarship and research, and they also offer free certificates, career support, and workshops and trainings. So more things, the more support that you get as a grad student at UNLV. So our Professional Development Academy, we provide academic support certifications, so free year-long professional development programs with research, teaching, mentorship, and communication. So these are just stackable credentials that you can put on for free while you're doing your program at UNLV. We have a Grad Rebel Ambassador program that you can join. They're highly visible members of the Grad College team that helps us build strong relationships with the Rebel community, with donors, with alumni, with community members, and with programs and volunteer opportunities that help make the graduate college more visible. We have a really cool Grad Rebel boot camp, Grad Rebel writing boot camp. It happens twice a year, and it's a week-long program that we assist you working on your major pieces, like your thesis, your dissertations, and publications, articles, and things like that. All those things that eventually get you to graduation and help you succeed. And then postgraduate career pathways program. So professional development program that helps you explore your career options when you graduate. So just some super basic stuff as far as applying to the graduate college at UNLV. So this is necessary for everyone. So if you're applying to the MBA or other programs, you have to have a bachelor's degree from a regionally accredited institution, 2 years, so your last 60 credits. And if you have a 3.0 in your last 60 credits, you're meeting minimum requirements. If you are below that GPA, though, don't worry. You can still apply to a graduate program at UNLV. Departments evaluate your application on a holistic basis, so a decision. But if you do that GPA, you might get recommended like provisional admission or something like that, where you just have to complete some work, earn certain grades to stay in the program, meet forward progress and things like that. So if you're ever concerned about that, make an appointment with one of us at the Grad College. We're happy to talk through that kind of stuff with you. If you're an international student, or if you just have education that's outside the United States, you might have to get what's called a foreign credential evaluation. And there's foreign credential evaluations companies that basically calculate your GPA on a US scale and tell us what your degree is equivalent to. Like if you got a master's degree in the UK, it equals a master's degree in the United States. If you got a bachelor's degree, somewhere else, we just get that equivalency from our NACES accredited foreign credential evaluation companies, and they help us do those GPA calculations from all over the world. And then you're going to have additional factors in your application. So Dr. Davis is going to talk to you about what's required in the MBA application specifically, but beyond your transcripts and beyond those things you have to provide, departments can ask you for all kinds of things. They can ask you for a statement of purpose. They can ask you for a writing sample. There might be a test score involved, like a GRE or a GMAT, letters of recommendation. So all those holistic factors that I was talking about, part of your application, you're going to see those requests from the department. And if you're ever curious, you can just go on our website, unlv.edu/graduate college, and you can find all our programs. And if you click on them, it's going to show you exactly what the admission requirements are. And you can talk to somebody at the Grad College and we'll help you out as well. So what should you do? How do you apply? So our application system is called the Grad Rebel Gateway. So if you Google Grad Rebel Gateway, you're going to find this portal, you're going to sign up and you can start working on applications. You can also get to it from our website. There's a big old apply button on unlv.edu/graduate college. And then you're going to start your application to the program of interest. You can apply to multiple programs if you want to. You're going to upload those admission documents that I talked about on your application portal. And you can apply for funding, graduate assistantships, scholarships, and things like that, all through the Grad Rebel Gateway. You do have to pay an application fee to be considered for admission. So domestic students have to pay a $60 fee, and international students have to pay a $95 fee. And then once everything is done, you'll see your checklist on the left-hand side of your application, and you go ahead and submit and pay. We have our department deadlines hyperlinked here, and I believe the presentation is going to go out to attendees. But you can also find it on our website. Just search deadlines on the Grad College homepage, because every department has different deadlines. So if you do have to take a test, if you do need to secure letters of recommendation, it's really important to know the department deadlines. So for example, some departments have deadlines coming up in December 1st for programs that start in fall 2021. So you just want to check it out. Some programs only admit in the fall, some programs admit in the fall and the spring. So knowing your deadline and being prepared is a really big piece of applying to grad school at UNLV. And Dr. Davis will tell you about the MBA deadlines. So next steps, if you have questions about any of this stuff, meet with us. Email us at gradrecruitment@unlv.edu. We'll set up a consultation with you. We can do virtual appointments. We can call you on the phone. And we are taking limited walk-ins at this time. So if you do want to meet with someone personally, it's still probably best to email Grad Recruitment. We can set something up with you. Review those program deadlines, which are linked here. And then you might want to reach out to the graduate coordinator. So Dr. Davis, she is the program coordinator for our MBA program. So I'm not the expert on each of our individual programs. People like Dr. Davis are the experts in MBA. So the nitty-gritty of the program, those departmental requirements, what's expected of you, how long it's going to take, how am I going to succeed? Those are good questions for the grad coordinator. And then once you're ready, go ahead and apply and submit those additional materials to the Grad College. We have some events coming up that you might be interested in. You can always go to the Grad College's homepage, click on Future Students. We give workshops every week. So we have Upcoming on this Saturday, we have an all-in-one session where we talk about everything you could possibly need to know about grad school. We talk about this kind of stuff, about why you should go to grad school, how to pay for grad school, and then we go into like nuts and bolts, like personal statements, writing samples, letters of rec, tests. So check out our schedule. This is just some upcoming events in the near future. We have an international workshop happening. We have some drop-in sessions, which are just our WebEx room is open and you can come in and talk to somebody, and you can fill out our request for information link here, and check out our full schedule. We literally have something happening every week, and we have stuff happening in the nights and weekends. So we can probably find something that will be relevant to you. And lastly, this is our contact information, gradrecruitment@unlv.edu. You can reach us at 702-895-4543. This is our building address, and we are open 8 to 5 right now, Monday through Friday. So if you do want to make an appointment, go ahead and contact us. And that is that. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen so Dr. Davis can get her presentation up.
Wonderful. Okay, so I'm going to talk more about the Lee MBA program. I'm talking about 3 things. 1, the different programs that we offer. 2, what we consider the MBA experience. We consider the MBA more than a degree, but actually having an MBA experience. And then the 3rd part is more about the admission details that Liz had mentioned earlier, but on the MBA side. We do work in tandem with the graduate college in admission. So when you apply to the graduate college, you would indicate the program of study and we would be able to get all of the information that you submit. Okay, Liz mentioned the R1 ranking of the university, and I want to add a few more points that add value as well from the business school side and the MBA side. So for the MBA program, you'll be receiving your degree from an R1 ranked institution, from an AACSB accredited business school. And I know that doesn't mean a lot to you, but it does for business schools. It's the Association to Advance Collegiate Schools of Business, and only about 5% of the business schools worldwide have that accreditation. So we are proud to maintain that accreditation. We are the only program that has the AACSB accreditation in Southern Nevada. The other accredited institution in Nevada is UNR. We also, the 3rd thing, the Lee MBA, the evening program, is ranked by US News and World Report in the top 100. We are now number 87. So when you look at those 3, the R1 ranking of the university, AACSB accredited business school from a top 100 MBA program according to US News and World Report, that adds a lot of value to your degree. So we do offer a number of different MBA programs. We offer MBA programs. One would be a general program. If you're not sure kind of which area you want to get into, you could start in the general and then kind of find out which area you're really interested in. Or you can start in a concentration area. We offer finance, human resources management, management information systems, marketing, new venture management, which is more of the entrepreneurial side of business, and healthcare management. So those are concentrations if you decide to do the MBA program by itself. All of our courses are in the evening as well, and we've just moved to a hybrid format. Now it's a little bit different. We have some courses that are hybrid, some courses that are online, but moving forward, once we get back into the classroom, our program is going to be a hybrid program. We also offer dual degree programs. So the benefit to a dual degree program is you're able to combine 2 degrees at the same time, complete them simultaneously, and you save credits by doing that. You would have to be admitted to both programs for the dual degree and complete both of them at the same time. So the dual degrees that we offer, our most recent one is the quantitative finance. We just started that one this fall. We offer a Master's of Science in Hotel Administration and an MBA, a Master's of Science in Management Information Systems and an MBA. Those are through one application through the graduate college. The other 2, the Juris Doctorate and the Dental Medicine, are 2 applications. You would apply to the law school and the MBA, or to the dental school and the MBA program. So that's a little bit about the different programs that we offer. Now, one thing nice about the different programs is you're going to end up being in class with a number of people that will end up in very different fields that you're in, and they also come from very different backgrounds. So it's a great opportunity to learn with and learn from those individuals in class. So the way the general MBA program works and the concentration. So if you were doing a general MBA, you would have 7 core courses and then 7 electives. So you can pick and choose. Let's say you're not sure that you really want to focus in a particular area like finance, but you want to have some finance. You could pick up a couple classes in finance, a couple in marketing, take an MIS course, a management course, and then make up that 7 courses. So you kind of structure what's going to work best for you. If you want an area of interest or a concentration, it reduces the number of electives from 7 down to 3. The 4 other elective courses that you would have had in the general MBA are now concentration courses. So let's say you're interested in finance. You have 7 core courses, your 4 courses within finance, and then 3 courses that would be electives. So you could do a marketing and management, MIS. You could do all in marketing if you wanted to. It's up to you, kind of where you want to focus your electives. So the MBA's program is 42 credits, 14 courses. So 7 core and 7 elective for the general, 7 core, 4 concentration, and 3 electives for any one of the concentrations. So these 7 courses would be required whether you're a dual student or any of the different concentrations. And the benefit, again, as I mentioned before, learning with and learning from your classmates. Since all students take these courses, you really have a broad range of backgrounds of students and where their interests are as well. The dual programs are a little different. Instead of taking 14 courses, you would take 10 courses. We're going to waive 4 courses. That's on the MBA side. It's the same for every dual. If you do the dual with dental, this is the MBA side. The dual with MIS, this is the MBA side. So instead, again, 7 core courses and 3 electives. We're waiving the 4 courses that would have been your concentration. Oh, and with that, depending on the dual, the benefit, again, of doing a dual is that you save credits by combining them. So if you were to do the law program and the MBA program separately, 5 years full-time. If you combine the 2, it would save a year. You could be finished in 4 years for that program. Definitely a benefit if you have a couple of areas of interest and we have an existing dual program. Now, with all of that said, when I talked about those 3 value points with the R1 institution, the accredited business school, and a top 100 MBA program for only in-state $21,000, it is an incredible value. Out of state as well, part-time studies about $30,000, full-time studies about $45,000. But when you look at those costs and the value and your return on your investment, it is significant. So it definitely is a great investment in your future. So that's a little bit about the different programs that we offer within the MBA. I like to talk a lot about the MBA experience because I think what really brings our MBA program together, the students and the ability for them to work together. We start that off at orientation. This picture is actually taken at Machu Picchu in Peru. It was 2011. We took a group of students to Machu Picchu. So it definitely is different when you're in class with students than you're actually doing the experiential learning and being outside of the class and learning about business and an international trip or doing a business visit. And I'll kind of go over a little bit more about that MBA experience and how it adds so much to the value of the program. We do have a career and professional development office within the business school. We also have a UNLV career services office. You can utilize both of them. They just transitioned to a new format with Handshake for working with employers and jobs, internships, which is a great platform. So you're able to take advantage of both of those career offices. We also offer executive coaching sessions for our MBAs. Our MBAs differ and vary depending on their work experience. We may have a group of students that are coming into the program that have very limited work experience and starting to climb up that ladder, where we have other students that have been in their career field for 10, 15 years. So those students would both look for career services, but it's a little different depending on where they're at in their career. So we do offer executive coaching for our students. And I like this saying, build your network, then work your network. And that's what you're doing in an MBA program, are developing those relationships, learning together, learning with each other, and establishing that network for the future. A little bit of information about the students when they're coming into our program. The average GPA is approximately 3.3. The average GMAT is 600. Average age is 29. And I mentioned a little bit about the diversity of backgrounds with our students. We also have a wide range of generational diversity. Our youngest student coming into the program has been 19. The oldest student has been 72. So for individuals being able to work on group projects with people that are in different generations just adds another layer of learning. Average work experience is 5 years. That ranges from 6 months typically to 40 years. 40% women in the MBA program, 16% minority students, and 12% international students. So it's a really good group of students, again, to learn with and learn from. Beyond the classroom, we have an MBA Student Association. Liz had mentioned the GPSA, which is the Graduate College Association. We do have one student from the MBA that represents us on that committee. They're also part of our MBA Student Association. So our MBA Student Association works with us to create that experience for students. We have a speaker series. Our next speaker's coming up next week. Rebel Venture Fund is a combination of grads and undergrads that are making investment decisions. So if you're interested in more of the entrepreneurial side of finance, that's a great opportunity to get involved with that group. And then I mentioned the international trip with the trip to Peru. This picture on this screen was taken at Alibaba headquarters in Hangzhou, China in 2018. We went to China in 2018 and 2019, but it was great to be able to see business and being in China and looking at how they do business versus how we do business. We also kick off our trips typically with a trip to the embassy so we can see how we're involved, a little bit more of a roadmap to that country as far as our involvement with the country. So it's a great way to learn about international business and business done abroad. Last, in 2019, this picture with the big transformer. That's our group of students when we went to Sany Industries in China. We went to Russia. This is in Novgorod, Russia, at the oldest Kremlin in Russia. And then I also posted the trip from Peru. So it gives you, again, a little bit more opportunity to kind of expand your relationships with students and have an MBA experience versus just getting a degree. We also have done tailgate parties, and my favorite is karaoke. One of our students suggested we do karaoke 5 years ago, and it is still our best attended event. And who knew MBAs could sing, but they do love to sing. We have alumni come back for our karaoke events. And we also do business visits. This picture at Tenaya Creek Brewery, which is a brewery close to the downtown area of Las Vegas. We got a chance to walk through with the brewmaster, learn more about their business model, learn more about how they brew beer, where their market is, their supply chain. So it was really interesting to learn not only, as I mentioned, on the international trips and international companies, but also what we have locally in Las Vegas. I have a few more companies here, and just a few that we have visited as well. We went to the City National Arena, the home of the Golden Knights, met with their VP of operations there and learned a lot more about how they're structured, what they do in the community, how they work with T-Mobile Arena, the home, another home of the Golden Knights where they play. Learn more about how that partnership works when we visited T-Mobile. We also, which I found was fascinating when Area 15 popped up off of the 15, what that was. Well, our students toured the facility, and now we know what Area 15 is. You'll have to check it out. Okay. We've also done a trek to LA. Two of these individuals here are our alums. They are doing business in Los Angeles. So we went out to their facilities, learned more about what they were doing and how their MBA prepared them for what they do. We also visited several other companies, Cedars-Sinai Hospital. We went to Universal, it was a production company. So we learned a lot more about a number of different businesses in LA as well. Southern Wine and Spirits, we've done a tour. They're a large distribution facility for adult beverages. So that was very interesting to see how their supply chain worked and how they ran that facility. So it was really interesting. Okay, so that's a little bit about the MBA experience. And the third part I was going to talk about is the application process and the GMAT. I get most of the questions from students or prospective students about the GMAT exam. So Liz mentioned the deadlines. We do have extended deadlines for this upcoming semester for the spring, December 1st. Typically it was November 15th, and we've extended it for fall 2020 and spring 2021. So we also offer admission in the summertime. So it depends on when you're ready to start class and go back to school. Timing is really important. So when it's the right time, we have a deadline and a semester for you. So we admit fall, spring, and summer for our programs. The application materials, Liz mentioned the Grad Rebel Gateway. So you would upload your transcripts, your unofficial transcripts into the Gateway, a copy of your resume. We do require a statement of purpose, and what we're looking for is why you're pursuing your MBA and why you think you would be a good candidate for an MBA program. And for the statement of purpose, we're looking at your writing because we don't look at the writing on the GMAT exam. And I'll kind of go over a little bit more about the GMAT exam in a little while. 2 letters of recommendation. They can be academic references, especially if you're a recent graduate. You've been in school a couple semesters ago, you can contact your academic references. If it's been a while since you've been out of school, professional references will work as well. But what we're looking for on those letters is why that individual feels that you would be a good candidate for graduate school. So we want their information about why they think you would be a good candidate. And then the GMAT exam, that is required for all students except for those that have terminal degrees. So we don't require doctors, lawyers, or individuals with PhDs to actually take the GMAT, but everyone else would. Liz mentioned the GPA requirement. We do the full admission and the provisional admission as well. If you're over a 3.0, you could be considered for full admission. If you're below 3.0, we consider you for provisional admission. The GMAT, that's based on 800 is the top score on a GMAT. We're looking for 550 or higher for full admission, and typically 520 or higher on a provisional admission. And again, that's a case-by-case basis for that. We do accept the GRE as long as it's comparable to a GMAT score that we accept. So if you've already taken the GRE, we could consider that as well. So the GMAT, nobody likes it. I've talked to maybe 2 people in the last 10 years who were so excited about taking the GMAT. No one else has been. So, and it does give you a little bit of test anxiety, also getting prepared and going to take the GMAT. So there's a lot of good testing information on MBA.com. You can sign up, register at that site, and they'll provide you with some good information. That is also the site that you would register for the exam. So there is one testing center here locally, but they're also doing those tests online. And they're, depending on which test, can be between $225 to $275 per time you take it. So if you're going to take the exam, I also recommend taking a lot of sample tests. So when you get into that GMAT exam that you've paid $250 for, it's not an expensive practice test. So take a lot of sample tests. The test is given every Monday through Saturday, so it's readily available. The testing center is located on Convention Center Drive, and there is an option to do online testing as well. You can find all this information on MBA.com, and our average score again is 600 out of 800. You register. I have the fee for the actual on-site GMAT exam. The fee for the online one is a little bit less. This is the address for Pearson, and again, all of this is on the GMAT website. So the score report, once you take the test, you'll get an unofficial score. We can start processing your application with that unofficial score, but you'll want to make sure that you do indicate UNLV Lee Business School as one of your recipients of your score. If you're applying to, let's say, the dual with hospitality or the dual with MIS, you can actually have a score sent to both programs. You can send it up to 5 different scores on testing day, and then we'll receive them within your unofficial score. You'll get the same day. For the physical location, if you test in, for the online, it takes 1 or 2 days for us to get that unofficial score. The GMAT can be taken once every 15 days and no more than 5 times in a 12-month period. Again, lots of sample tests. I think about 30% of the test takers will take that test a second or third time. So these are the sections of the GMAT exam. I mentioned that we don't look at the writing sample. That is the analytical writing assessment here. And we don't look at the integrative reasoning. These are 2 30-minute sessions. You'll want to know how to do them, but you'll want to focus your bulk of your preparation on the quantitative and the verbal reasoning. So not only refreshing on the concepts that you'll be covering in those sections, but also timing. If you look on the section for quantitative, you have 31 questions and 62 minutes. So when you're doing your sample test in your preparation, you'll want to budget about 2 minutes per question. The verbal reasoning, you have 36 questions and 65 minutes. So it's a little bit less than 2 minutes, and it's the same thing. You want to work on your pacing when you take those sample tests. I've had students come in and they'll have like 10 quantitative questions and 4 minutes left. There's just no way you'll be able to complete those. So then you'll be guessing, and that doesn't really help your score. So on the quantitative reasoning, I've got a sample. Oh, I'll go to the sample in a minute. The test is computer adaptive. So you'll start off, I hope you can see my cursor here. You start at a certain level for the score. And then if you get that question right, it goes up a little higher. And if you get that question right, your score goes up a little higher. If you get it wrong, the score kind of goes down. So it teeters all the way through the score, through the test, until you get that final score at the end. So that's kind of how the GMAT works for scoring. And I have heard those first questions, the very beginning, can set you up pretty well. So definitely, again, work on your timing, work on reviewing. So I've got a couple of questions, sample questions. This is a sample of the data sufficiency in the quantitative section. These are the questions, talking to students, that throws them the most in the quantitative section, because they're not asking you to solve the problem. They're asking you to determine whether or not there's enough information to solve the problem. The other thing with these questions are these answers are really long. So one of the testing strategies that Kaplan recommends is to memorize those, because if you have to spend time reading those long sentences, it's taking away from the time that you need to actually prepare to answer the question. So again, these are the same on every question. If you memorize those, it saves you time and allows you to spend more time on the question. So this is a quantitative question, and here's a verbal sample. So you're looking at this passage here, the underlined, let me find my cursor, the underlined area here from revealing any identifying characteristics is the section in that verbal passage that you're going to determine if it's correct, or if one of these others, you can see A is the one that is in that question 5, but B, C, D, and E are different ways that you can write that question. So this is a sample of a verbal question. They have a great study guide. There are GMAT apps ready for GMAT. There's flashcards, whatever way you learn best. Pick up a couple of study guides or flashcards so that you can practice the exam. The other thing on this test, it's not a test that you can cram for. It takes a little while to prepare. So if it's one thing nice about the GMAT that I look at is if it's been a while since you've been in school, it gets you back into study mode. When I went back for my PhD program, I had to take the GRE. I actually postponed my admission for a year because I didn't have time to take the GRE. If I didn't have time to take the entrance exam, I don't know how I was going to have time to do my homework. So it's a good indicator on whether or not, I mentioned timing earlier, whether or not it's a good time to go back to grad school, is starting to prepare for the GMAT. And you can start to structure your study time for the GMAT just like a class. And it is a good indicator of whether it's the good time to go back to school. There are some resources. I mentioned Kaplan, MBA.com, Magoosh. UNLV has a GMAT prep course through their educational outreach. There's a number of other ones. I've heard Manhattan Prep. Definitely do your research and find out which one's going to be work best for you. When I studied for my GMAT, I had a lot more time. I was able to really structure my study time. I picked up a couple of books. I studied for a couple of months. I got into the MBA program. Like I said, with my PhD program, I had so many things going on. I wasn't able to study for that test on my own. Once I realized that I didn't have time to study for the test, about a year later, I worked with Kaplan to do an anywhere course, and it allowed me to kind of structure my study time. So you can study on your own. You can do a study prep course. Again, it's going to be whatever works best for you. And that's all I have for the MBA side. I think we covered the different programs that we offer. The MBA experience, what I think just makes such a difference for our MBA program and the students that participate in it. And then a little bit about the admission requirements to kind of add on to what Liz had mentioned about the graduate college admission. So I'll stop sharing my screen.